Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's so nice to see your faces. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I have the pleasure, the privilege actually, of having a woman that I talked about her story on the show, who is a cancer overcomer. Not just a survivor, she is an overcomer. And that is in the person of my very own mother, Mrs. Ola Ifidam, whom I fondly call Auntie Bimbo. So, Auntie Bimbo, welcome to our platform. So good to see you. You look beautiful as
Thank
always.
you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for joining me today. And your story is so powerful that I had to talk about it on the show. Thank you for letting me share your story, by the way.
Thank you.
And
And thank you for doing a good job at that.
of
Appreciate it.
course, just going by the comments, like your story has really inspired a lot of people. And it makes me really, really happy that your story is inspiring people and giving people hope. And of course, you wrote a book with which we talked about on the show. Thank you so much, and thanks to everybody that is joining us. I see that we have 200 people right now, and people are writing where they're joining us from. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you're joining us from. Really, really appreciate you guys. So first of all, I'll let you introduce yourself real quick so that people would know who we're talking with today. And then, of course, I'm going to, for those wondering what the conversation is about, we're talking today about finding purpose in your pain. It doesn't even matter what the pain is, you can find purpose in any pain whatsoever. And that's why I have her on the show today. So, real quick, I'll let you introduce yourself and then we'll go into my first question, which is if somebody doesn't watch this entire broadcast, what would you want them to live with?
Okay. Thank you so much, Adiola, for having me. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here with you today. I wouldn't be here if not for God, who has preserved my life and rescued me. So I give him all the honor, and my family, friends, and community, my parents in the Lord, Pastor J.K. Salio, and Pastor Alex, and every other person that has really supported me. I'm so grateful. My name is Abimbola Olainka Ifedan. Some people call me Bimbola, some people call me Abimbola. A couple people in the professional world refer to me as Ola. Um, I'm a graduate of economics, and like Diola rightly said in that video, I migrated to Canada a couple years ago. I'm a mother of three men, young men of purpose, and I'm very excited to be here. Currently, I work as a business strategist, and in digital world, I'm a digital strategist. What else can I say? I've had most of my career in consulting, worked with Accenture. I worked with a couple consulting companies as well in Nigeria, and currently in Canada. And I work as a digital strategy professional. So I'm glad to be with you all today, and it's a pleasure. Thanks, Adiola.
Of course, thank you. So, if someone is watching this and they're like, I only have a few minutes before they leave this room, if you can just hold to their clothes and be like, hey, wait, before you leave, what do you have to say to them?
Yes. So, as the title of the book and from the summary that you gave in that episode there, I just want people to understand that even though my story is about a health condition that God rescued me from and I was delivered from, it doesn't really stop there. So there are a lot of people going through situations in life, and like it was also said in that clips, it's a matter of when, not if. We are going to go through certain situations in life. At some point, life is going to hand you a half filled glass. And it is up to you to know whether you want to see your cup as half full or half empty. Oftentimes, people want to see their cups half empty because that's how life puts us. You just want to always look at the negative side. And so while I'm talking about my health situation that God brought me through, there are people there that have mental situations, emotional situations, marital situations, financial situations that is as bad as having a cancer situation. Like it's really bad. And my encouragement to you today is that you can be rescued from any situation. Anything that makes you uneasy, anything that puts you in a situation where you are at a disease, and by that I mean it's a type of a disease, you can be rescued from that. There is hope. Don't give up. If you give up before then you're just shortchanging yourself. And so my encouragement to everyone watching is, yes, it's a health situation, but it cuts across your health. Anything that you're not happy with, anything that is not working well, anything that is causing you pain, is causing you grief, is giving you that pain, I want you to know there is hope. You can come out of it. If I can come out of my situation, you can come out of it. For as long as you still have breath, there is hope. That will be my message.
Wow. And it is a powerful one indeed. So, speaking about health issues, for those who may be watching, how much role do you think our diet plays in our health condition? And because we were talking about this before we went live, and I don't just want you to talk about the importance of proper diet, but you also talked about people always trying to recommend, oh, this one will work. Or they say you should do ginger, you should juice. Nigerians, especially, no offense. I love my Nigerian people. We have the remedy for everything. Did you experience that when you were going through your treatment, and how much of that was useful? Or do you think sometimes people just pass information that they may not be fully educated on?
Yeah, so thank you again, Diola, for that question. Um, First of all, a disclaimer, I'm not a medical practitioner and I'm not a dietitian. So I'm just bringing to you my own personal experience based on the research that I did. So I want you to take that. So during my own situation, of course, a lot of people had reached out and said, "Hey, you have to take ginger, turmeric. Make sure you're taking all the antioxidants because it's good for you." And whilst it is good for you, these things have a way of hampering the medication and causing some contraindications. So for sure, you are what you eat. I mean, if you eat junk, you end up with junk. And so, and more so, in a health condition like that, food is of a higher priority than ever. Because as you go through treatment, one of the things the treatment does is to try to kill those cells. And unfortunately, the technology, even in Canada today, does not isolate good cells from bad cells. So it kills all the cells in the body. And that's why people change and that's why people get weak. They're still working on targeted therapy where it would just go straight to that cell, but it is not yet available to everyone. So bear in mind that the cells are being destroyed. And so you need to build your cells by making sure you are eating healthy food. Now, healthy is subjective because a lot of people would eat so many things. And I'm going to tell you my own personal experience. For example, when I was in treatment, vitamin C was not good for me because vitamin C is an antioxidant, and that was going to go, it was going to, what's the word now? It was going to reverse the effect of my treatment. And so, even though, I mean, I wanted to drink as many oranges and take as many oranges and all that, and that particular moment, it wasn't healthy for me. Turmeric and ginger and all those things that people say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. It was not good for me during that treatment because think about it one way. Antioxidants protect your cells. It helps you. And so they're trying to kill some cells and you're protecting those cells. At the end of the day, is a net zero. You don't get anything. You don't get anything, and you've gone through terrible treatments. So, what I always encourage people to do is that you should be an empowered patient. You should not just take things that people tell you. You should also try to research a little bit on your own. Ask questions, right? Ask questions from people and ask questions from your doctors, from your pharmacist. And what I did was I literally took all the medication I was taking, including supplements, multivitamins, and all that. I took everything to the hospital, and they had to look through all my medication to make sure there was none that was going to contradict the treatment I was going to be on. And that was when I was told to stop vitamin C and some other supplements that I thought was good for the period that I was there. Now, once I'm done, you can resume your supplements, you can resume your vitamin C, you can resume all that. You can resume your turmeric and everything. So one of the things I found out, and this is on it's from the book one of the books that I read, and it was very, very powerful to me. And that's where I found out about some of the food that are called, they basically help to prevent the disease. And top on that list is garlic. And so I made sure that I had garlic in my food every time, even though never mind the fact that I didn't like the smell of garlic. So there's a book called Anti-Cancer Action that I read by a doctor, and the guy provided a list of food that are top inhibitors for a particular type of cancer, in this case, breast cancer. So he had a lot for other types of cancer as well. It's on page 159 of my book, and that's the graph there. For those who want to know about the list of those foods, it's in there. And so I started focusing more on eating those type of food because those food have 100% inhibition factors to help prevent the growth of those bad cells. And you will be shocked there's some food that you've not even heard about and they're better, and some food that you think they're good, like carrots and tomatoes, have zero effect. They do, as a matter of fact, they don't even do anything for you. So these are some of the things that I found out during my journey, and I wanted to encourage people that just don't take everything you hear, and make sure you're an empowered patient.
Is it safe to say everybody's case is different? Don't base
Yes. Yes,
your
again,
treatment.
and that's why I specifically went to the breast cancer situation, to let you know some of the food there. That was particularly for breast cancer. In this book that I read, the guy had up to, I believe, about 30 types of cancers with different foods. So it's not, so even though I've said garlic and some other things there, it's not that it applies to every situation. So I'm just going to let you know the top food that he talked about in particular for breast cancer was garlic, leeks, scallion, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage. And then as you go down that chart, you start seeing things like carrots, tomatoes, which have no effect. And so, again, even within a particular type of cancer, for example, breast cancer, it also depends on the type. Not all breast cancers are the same. And so, even though I'm telling you, I mean, garlic is good and all that, it's dependent on the particular type that that person has, whether it's estrogen receptive or not, and those type of things. So that is where you need to be. A lot of people just hear, okay, let's say someone's been diagnosed and they say, okay, you have breast cancer. You need to sit down to understand what type is this. Can you explain to me? Just don't go away and say, oh, they say I have this. What type is it? How did it come about? What is it responding to? Because if it's an estrogen receptive type, is a different type of treatment than one that is not. Okay, so even so, just make sure you are sitting. Don't just get that information and run away with it and say, "Oh, they say I have this." What type is it? So it's kind of like you're studying yourself. You almost need to sit down, calm yourself down, like, and then say, "Can you explain to me how did I get here? What are the result? What is my result saying? Can you interpret that result to me? What type is it? What is it going to respond to?" Two people can go on chemo for the same for breast cancer, but different types of chemo. They're not the same because they're not the same type of the cells that they're trying to treat is not going to respond to the same type of treatment. So they have to vary that treatment. So,
Wow.
for example, I have friends who who never did certain types of treatments, like they didn't probably do radiation or they did chemo, or some did surgery and some didn't do chemo at all. These are all based on analysis that the doctors have put together. And so, as a patient, you need to understand if you find yourself in that particular situation, the first thing after you've soaked in that information and processed it is to say, can you please interpret what this report is saying? What type is it? And then you will know which food and how to better take care of yourself.
Wow. Thank you so much. This is very enlightening because now we know, first of all, every case is different. And then even if you have a particular diagnosis, you need to know what type in that diagnosis is yours. Um, I can hear myself echoing a little bit. I don't know if you're watching me on two different platforms like that.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure why it's echoing. So but it's very important if you don't get anything else out of this live broadcast, it's the fact that if you get a diagnosis, don't just run off with it like, oh, they said so some people like you're crying and all that. Find out first and foremost, okay, what type is this? Even if they say, for example, it's breast cancer, find out what type of breast cancer. Find out what is the cancer feeding on so that I know what to avoid and what can attack the cancer cells so that I know what to start taking in. Like you still need to be informed about whatever the diagnosis is. Real quick before we go on, do not forget that the name of her book is Rescued, a memoir of faith and faith. And if you're in Canada, you can find that on, you can either get it on indigo.ca or couponhub.ca. And she's working on getting it on Amazon. After the show that I did where I talked about her story, she actually picked the winners, the 10 winners of her book. And so we're gonna start naming the winners. If you had watched it and you put in the description that you wanted a copy of the book, she went through the comment and she has picked the 10 people that she's willing to give the free copy. And so I'm going to start naming the winners. Hopefully they are watching the show. I will still call out their names at the on my regular show in case they are not here to watch this book. I mean, to watch the show. So, if you, I'm going to just mention the first five winners so that they can hopefully join us so that they can send in their shipping address so that she could send it to you. So, the first winner is Obina Laj. Congratulations. Very happy for you. The second winner is Deb. We're going by the names that you provided on YouTube, oh, avec no vex. And the third person is Ibingo Schwabu Book. And the fourth person is Juliet Osunde. And the fifth person is Iyabo Adewumi. So congratulations to these five people who won a copy of her book. Um, we need to know how to get the book to you. So right now, those are the winners of her book. And so while we're trying to find, if one of the winners is watching this, please, and I will still say the last five at the end of this show. If any of the winners is watching, by the way, let us know in the comment section. And then in a few minutes, I will open up for you guys to join us so that you can ask our questions. So, um, so what we eat has a lot to do with our health. But I wanted to know, do we need to wait for any diagnosis before we start paying attention to what we eat? Is there any significance in what we eat
Um,
in our health? And while you're answering that, you said something in that book that I found hard to digest as a Nigerian. I'm speaking now on behalf of Nigerians. Okay, let me not generalize. You said, according to health experts, carbohydrates is only supposed to be like 20% of what we eat, and then the remaining 80% should be fruits and vegetables, like all kinds of soup, and fruits, the carbohydrate should only be 20%. When if somebody is trying to eat eba amala or fufu or pounded yam, usually the pounded yam will be this big, and then the soup will be small. Are you telling us that we're supposed to reverse that for maximum health?
Yeah, so two parts to that question. First one is, should we wait till the last minute before we start to pay attention to what we eat? And then I'll talk about my discovery on the other question about the portion sizing there. So just to give you a background, having worked in consulting, my life has always been on the go, and so I just look for a quick thing to eat and I move on, and so I never really paid attention to what I was eating like that. Not that I ate a lot of junk or anything, but I mean, I'll just buy things and I'll just move with that. And when this happened, it gave me a reality check, and I had to slow down and I had to think again about what I was eating, putting in my mouth, and that's when I became more, I'd say, more aware. And I started looking at labels. I started looking at things. I'm wondering, wow, this thing I'm eating has this level of sodium, low level of potassium, and all the other things. And of course, canned food, especially when you're in North America here, they make everything kind of seemingly easy. It's an easy way out, but it's also an easy way to dying. And so
Mm,
you just pick all the cans and even tin tomatoes and stuff like that. We just do everything, and I think that the point here is moderation. It's not that, because there will be times when you want to just give yourself that treat, that pizza, that thing. But when it becomes a way of life, a style, that's what you do in every day, every now and then it becomes a problem. If you feed on junk food for 40 years of your life, I
hey.
mean, what do you think you end up with? That's junk. And so, and the other thing that I found out in my own particular situation is the busyness of life,
Mm.
and trying to make makeshift. Everything is, can we get it quick and fast? Can we do everything quick, quick, quick? Like they would say in my world, agile. Can we just quick delivery? And everybody wants to do that. Nobody really wants to take time to prepare a good meal, because it takes time. And so by the time the sickness, like I tell my kids, by the time something is showing up, it's almost too late because you fed it for so long. So what I just want
Mm.
to encourage people is that don't wait till you're sick before you start to pay attention to what you're eating.
Hmm.
Because by the time you wait till you are sick, I'm very thankful, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, but not many people would have that opportunity. And
Hmm.
so you want to start to be very deliberate. Your body is a machine. And so you want to make sure
Mm.
you're feeding it with the right ingredients so that it can continue to be strong. Now, to the other question that you posed in terms of the portion sizing for carbohydrates and vegetables, that is the ideal state. And as a matter of fact, when I got to North America, I realized that for the most part, when you go to a Caucasian's party, and they serve you rice, and the rice is just like a very tiny, and you have lots of vegetable, and we're like, this is not food. We want more rice, little vegetable. And the thing is, your body, it's gonna get to a point where your body would have to, at first you might be like, no, I can't do this, but over a period of time you will get you would be adjusted to that. I mean, think about it. God forbid, if you were on a life machine and the only thing that would save you is to drink water for 2 days, would you not do it?
Mm.
Have you not had time when you go for a test and they'll tell you that don't eat for 14 hours before that, or if you're going for surgery, don't you not? I mean, you will not eat. You know you're going for surgery. They've told you that if you eat, you may die. You will not eat, even if they tell you you need to fast for 8 hours. All of a sudden, you discipline yourself. You tell yourself that no, even if somebody is bringing that pounded yam, they're bringing that jollof rice, they're doing everything, you're like, no, I'm not going to, because I don't want to kill myself. So what I just admonish people is that don't let life force you to make a decision that you should easily have made. Don't
Mm.
let life, like right now, I'm now eating more vegetables. I'm doing all those things that I never used to do before. Why? Because I want to live.
Mm.
So don't let life force you. I mean, I drink pop. I can't remember the last time I took a can of pop since 2020. I can't.
So pop
No,
is like soda, like soft drink.
soft drinks, so Fanta, Coke. So and there are alternatives. It's like right now I have my juice, I have my drink. I drink this. I put it in the fridge so it's chilled. There's some things that you can put in that can make it have the gas if you want to feel like having that gas filling, just to pop up a little bit. But I try to avoid those things because the more you feed yourselves with those things, and Diola mentioned this at the last episode that she showcased the book. I mean, you may not be taking sugar, you may not be taking honey or chocolates and stuff like that, but when you eat rice, when you eat any carbohydrate, ultimately it breaks down into sugar. And so even though you're saying, oh,
Nigerians
I'm
will
not
say rice. Nigerians will say rice. Don't go there. What else do you want us to eat?
yeah, so in that particular situation, what I could suggest is cook a big pot of vegetable. Put all your snails and fish and everything in it. Let that be your main food and then eat rest. Because if you eat enough vegetable to a point, I can guarantee you'll be full. You'll be full. It's just a mindset. It's a
Hmm.
I call it reverse thinking. It's a mindset. Again, think about it this way. If someone told you that this is the only thing you need to eat for you to live long, healthy, and well, you will eat it. If you're going for surgery and your doctor says, you know what, I want you to eat I want you to eat a crate of eggs before you come for this surgery, even though you don't like eggs, but they're saying this is the requirement for this surgery to be successful, you will eat it.
Hmm.
So why do you want life to force you to do something that you could have done easily yourself? I mean, some people on treatment now, they tell them, don't eat this, don't drink that, you can't go out, you can't do this, your immunity is low, you can't do everything, and they comply because they want to live.
They want to leave.
Yeah, so that sense of living, I think, should overwhelm every other thing, for every other passion that you may have. I still eat a
So
little bit of rice, but I eat vegetables a lot. I eat a lot of fish right now. And I never used to like fish before, for those who know me. I'm not a fish person. But when you hear that, these are some of the things that could help you, even if you don't like it, you will eat it to stay alive.
so you mentioned soft drink, soda, pop. I know people that will literally at a meal they will finish 3 bottles of Coke. It says as far as they're concerned, it means they are enjoying. Like, how can you be drinking just water? And it's sad, but a lot of people don't actually know. Like, I also don't drink soda. Me and my husband, we don't drink soda or pop or. And sometimes people think that's weird. How can you not be drinking soft drink? So now you're saying, and I've seen a video that was circulating at the time. Someone talked about the sugar quantity in a bottle of Coke, Fanta, and all. So can you please help us to understand one more time why soda is or pop or soft drink is actually a killer, a slow killer? Like why is not good for you?
Yeah, thanks, Adiola. As you probably know, these things are processed. They have a lot of other chemicals that, sweeteners and stuff like that. So again, it's about the lifestyle. If you perpetually drink Coke every meal, every time for the rest of your life, is a matter of time, guaranteed it's going to show up. Either it shows up in a terrible disease like diabetes and all these other things, or you're just not your metabolism, even for those who seem to have good metabolism, there's just something that you're just not feeding your system very well. And like I said, it's a lifestyle. I'm not totally condemning pop, let me get it right. If you have a pop once in a while here and there, just to satisfy some occasional cravings, that's okay. I think it becomes a major problem when it becomes a lifestyle, that every time you want to drink something, it's got to be sweet, it's got to be pop, then it becomes a problem. And some of these problems, unfortunately, will not show up quickly. So if you fed yourself for 20 years, for 30 years with this, and it shows up, and all of a sudden you're saying, oh, I'm going to stop it for 2 weeks. Nah, it's not. You almost have to have an equal amount of years to reverse the 20 or 30 years of not drinking it, because your body is a machine. And so when things like this happen, people say, oh, I've stopped, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just going to cut it off my diet. But you know what? It's probably almost too late. Your body's going to take a while before it gets used to that. And so, what I encourage people is, you can try alternatives like juice your orange, and there's nothing you can't even juice these days. You can juice carrot, you can juice anything. And there's some there's some effervescent drink that I referenced in my book. They're multivitamins. I pop one or two in cold water, like I have right now, and I drink it. And honestly, I don't even know I'm not drinking Coke. So I have a double thing. I'm taking my multivitamin, and it's in a drink form. So that's how I drink that. Prior to now, let's be real, I never thought about that. I don't even do that. I'm traveling, I'm at the airport, I'm somewhere, there's pop, there's juice, and sometimes I make myself feel good. I'll take apple juice or cranberry, because that one is not pop, but it's fruit. But at the end of the day, it's sugar. It's all sugar. It's just rebranding. So that's my 2 cents. Like I said, I'm not a dietitian, but definitely I know that pop sugar, it doesn't ultimately result in any good.
Okay. Thank you so much, by the way. I'm going to start letting people in the studio so that they can ask you questions. For those who are just joining us, the very first thing that she hammered on is to never give up. It doesn't matter whether it's a diagnosis, whether it's a financial situation, like whatever your case is, do not ever give up, because there's always a purpose for the pain that you're going through. Like, for example, what she went through is the reason why we are with her today on the show. And guess what? She's encouraging a lot of people. So there's always a purpose, a reason, for you to go through whatever you're going through. So please and please don't ever give up. Also, we called out the the first five names of the winners of her book that she's giving out after the show that I did about her book. And so we already called out the first five winners. And if they are with us today, please let us know. Obin Alaj, Deb, Ibingo, Shuabu Book, Juliet or Sunday, Yabo Adewumi. If you are here, please let us know so that we can know our winners. Um, so I'm gonna post in the comment section the link for people to join us. And while we're doing that, there's a comment that I saw that I wanted to bring on the show. This is from Adirunke Falure. Thank you for this live show. I know about the evil of carbohydrates, but lack the will to keep it away from my menu. Um, so someone also sent me a private message. This person listening to you at the beginning, you talked about how for your type of diagnosis, they said that um, one of the books you read said that garlic is good in fighting the cancer. And this person, and you talked about not liking the smell of garlic, so this person also absolutely hates the smell of garlic. And so the person is also wondering, how do I get myself to eat something that I know is good for me, but I don't like the taste, I don't like the smell? And so let's ask that with Aderonke Falore's question, that she knows that carbohydrate is not good for her, but she has the will to keep it away from her menu. What do you have to say to something like this?
So, Adironke, thanks for that. I know that most people know these things, and then this is where you have to exercise your will, and your will come when you think about the greater good, when you think about the end result you're trying to achieve, which is to live long in good health and to be
Mm,
around your kids. And so when you think about that, it should drive you to make those choices. It's boils down to discipline. And like I said, make a very good meal of vegetable, put snails, put fish, put everything that you know you enjoy that would fill you. And by the time you eat that, for the most part, get to almost half the plate of that vegetable, then start with your carbohydrates. You'll find that you'll be fuller quickly. and you won't be able to. But when you focus on the other one, then you're taking the vegetable. So look at your vegetable as your main meal, and then your carbohydrate as the supplement. As a matter of fact, I went to the store and I bought portion sizes of food, of containers. And that's how I portion my food out, just so that I don't eat too much of that. And then I could cook a bowl or a pot of vegetable and eat. That's the main meal. The rice, and then when it comes to things like, I know for Nigerian, I mean, I'm from a Nigerian heritage, eba, for example, I will make my eba, instead of making eba, I will make cauliflower eba. And and with good soup, it goes. Instead of having amala, I like amala as well. Instead of having that, I will make eggplant, right? And I'll make it in small portions, and then I'll make my vegetable. So where I spend my time and money and resources is in the vegetable. So I make it nice. So I cook kale, I cook all this vegetable, make it a real meal. Think about it as your African salad. Put everything together, everything you want, put it there, and then use your vegetable as use your carbohydrate as the supplement. So that's how I've motivated myself, so to say, to eating those things, because it's discipline. And I'm still on that journey. Don't get me wrong. I'm not there yet. I'm on a journey. There are times I'm looking and I'm going, I wish I could have more. But then, like I said, when you think about the greater good, where you want to be, it would caution you. So that's that. The other one has to do with, garlic and eating. I mean, like I said, I never like those things. So what I do is that when I blend my pepper for stew, I supplement onions with garlic. So it's blended and I cook it with stew. So as I'm eating my stew, I'm getting a portion of the garlic. So I don't eat it raw like that, so that I don't feel it. When I make my salad, I shred a little bit of it to just add some flavor to that. So you just have to find out what works for you, what you like. And we're not saying you should cook a bag of garlic. Maybe taking 3 or 4. It's just for your body to absorb a little bit of that. And then over time, right now I don't even know what I mean, the taste is I'm used to it now. I can't even tell it apart because I always use it with something else, right? So that is my encouragement: is find something you like, and then introduce a little bit of garlic. It could be 2 of those little garlics you can put in there, and there's garlic powder as well. You can use it when you're boiling your meat. You can use the garlic powder instead of your curry or anything like that. You can use that as your seasoning. Whatever form, shape that you can absorb it, just use it. But again, everybody's situation is different, but that's how
I
I've been
was just
able
about to
to.
say that's for the person asking about garlic. We're not saying that garlic is for everybody. And I wanted to say real quick to Miss Adirunke that asked the question. Um, I think that sometimes it's a
Can you hear
mind
me?
condition. Okay, I
Oh,
can hear
okay.
you now. But it's so hard to see you. Could you please one more time go into, do you see a setting at the bottom of your screen? Do you see where it says settings? Auntie Bimbo. Auntie Bimbo, it's hard to see you. Do you see where it says setting at the bottom of your screen? Auntie Bimbo, I don't know if she could hear me anymore. Okay, she cannot hear me at all. Auntie Bimbo, okay, please click on the link to come back into the studio. Okay, we lost her. Um, we didn't lose her. She will come back. Okay. I was trying to, say something about the last person that asked the question that I think it's a mind condition. Our minds have been conditioned to think that carbohydrates should always be our main food, and then the rest is like addition to the main food. But it shouldn't be like that. Like for example, in my own village, um, protein is referred to as nkan ijẹun. Nkan ijẹun means what you use to eat real food. So it's not the main food, it's not the real food. It's what you use to eat food. I don't know if that makes sense. And Bimbo, please click the settings at the bottom of your screen. I don't know if you can see it. You can see click settings and then under camera resolution, please click high definition. If you can hear me. I don't know. Auntie Bimbo, can you hear me? It's so hard to see you. We don't see you well anymore. Okay. While she works on that. So I feel like we've been conditioned to think that protein, for example, when I was growing up in my village, they would say "Nkaja," which means what you used to eat. Um, it shouldn't be like that. Also, vegetables. We have all kinds of vegetables back home in different parts of Africa. It's not just spinach. It's not just okra. It's not like anything green. Everything green. Um, we can make a meal out of them. It doesn't have to be the addition to what we are calling the main meal, which is the carbohydrates. So, for example, there's nothing wrong in eating just okra. You can put your orishirishi in it, and then if you eat enough of it, it will actually fill you up. There's nothing wrong in eating just a spinach with your orishirishi inside and it fills you up. Also, if you're having something with spinach, something with okra, for example, let that be the biggest portion of your meal. The spinach, the okra, let it be the biggest portion of the meal. And can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes, I
me?
can.
Okay, please go to
Yeah.
settings at the bottom of your page. Do you see where it says settings?
Yeah.
Yeah, please click on it and then under camera resolution, click full high definition. We're having trouble seeing you.
Okay, I have done that now.
And you click high definition and it's still
Yes.
okay. I don't know why it's still not showing well. But we have someone in the studio today that has a question. After their question, I will ask about exercising. So please stay tuned. And so we have Lydia. Lydia, please turn on your video camera and say your name and then tell us uh, where you're. I said say your name. Sorry. Turn on your camera, tell us where you're calling from, and please tell us what your question is. Hi, Lydia. Can you hear me? Oh, Lydia dropped off. Okay. We have Kemi Adebayo. Hello. Please turn on your video camera and tell us your question. And for those who are wondering how to join us, I'm posting the link again so that you guys can join us. I just posted the link again if anyone has any questions for our guest. So, Miss Kemi Adebayo, please turn on your video camera and ask your question. Hello, Miss Adebayo. Hello. Kemi Adebayo, please turn on your video camera and ask your question.
No, I don't have any question. I'm just trying to listen. It's quite low from my end here. I really do apologize.
Oh, okay. So you don't have any questions, right?
No, not at all. I did have a question initially, but I think I got you know what? Let me try logging through my laptop. It might be easier for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So she doesn't have a question. I have a question. Please, guys, the link to join us in the studio is, I've posted it. Just click on that link and then you'll be able to, come in to ask us questions. Real quick, exercising, ma. Um, some people think it's not part of our culture as Africans to exercise. But I actually disagree because our forefathers used to walk a lot, and that in itself is a form of exercise. And also
Yeah.
swim a lot, especially if they have a river like their village or something.
Yeah.
Uh, a friend of mine went to Nigeria. I think this was like early to like 2011 or so, maybe 2010. I don't remember. He's white. And so in the morning, he got up and he started jogging in the neighborhood. And he said people will stop him and say, who's chasing you? Why are you running around? Like, where are you running to and stuff like that? And then he had to explain, no, I'm just, I'm just jogging. I'm just running. And they're like, why? But why? So also a lot of people nowadays, with the kind of work that they do, they get up in the morning, get in the car, go to the office, they sit at the desk all day, and then in the evening they get back in the car, they ride home, they sit down to eat a fat meal made up mostly of carbohydrates. Either is just rice, either is swallow, as we like to call it. And then they do this day in, day out, day in, day out. And then a lot of people think when you talk about the word exercising, is but why? Why do I need to exercise? I'm not trying to lose weight, or I'm not trying to be skinny or build muscles. What do you have to say to people who have this kind of mindset?
So, again, I'm not an exercise or a kinesiologist or anything like that. But like I said earlier on, don't let life force you to make a
Mm,
decision that you should otherwise make easily. When it comes to, I mean, think about it. If you get to a point in your life where they say that you have to walk 1 kilometer every day to keep alive, and if you don't, you'll die, you
hmm.
won't argue about exercise. It becomes all of a sudden it takes
It
a
becomes a
level of
priority.
priority with you. And I mean, don't wait for an alternative before you actually make the right decision. And with exercise, I think it's important. And one of the things, and I wrote in my book as well, is it's important to differentiate between exercise and activities. Because as Africans, we tend to do a lot of work. You're taking the kids to school, you're cleaning, you're vacuuming, you're doing all those things. It's good. But I realize that exercise requires a disciplined focus. And
Hmm.
so we should try to differentiate between that. And so, I mean, you don't have to practice to go to the Olympics. That's not what we're saying here. We're not saying you should build your six packs, or if you're a guy or a girl, you're trying to have those curves and all that. I mean, if you do, that's great. But what we're just saying again is look for something that you enjoy doing, like walking. I know this may not sound very interesting depending on where you live in Nigeria with the security issues, but you can think about, even if you're home, um, I'm gonna show you something that I got as an exercise thing. I'll just I'll get that before the end of the show. It's a skipping rope. Just even
Mm,
going on a skipping rope in your house and timing yourself for 15 minutes and just skipping. That's
mm,
enough for you. If you like to walk and it's safe to walk, you can walk. A way you can walk is you can even go to the mall and just walk around the mall, right? Make sure you don't take your purse with you so you don't buy anything if you don't want to buy anything. So you can go to the mall and walk and time yourself 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and do it. I enjoy swimming, and I started swimming. I got a personal trainer. Again, if you look at the outcome, the bigger picture here is wanting to stay alive and be healthy and not become a vegetable. Then that would motivate you. It would motivate you, right? So those are the things. And what I found out with exercise is look for something you enjoy, not what other people are telling you, something you enjoy. So if you enjoy walking, walk. If you enjoy skipping, skip. There's so many things, even so many exercises you can do indoors. If you have a treadmill at home, great. If not, if you have friends, you can go to the mall or a place that it's safe. You can walk in your neighborhood, walk and just do something you enjoy. That is the trick to not making exercise a burden. But if for example you're trying to do something you don't enjoy, like cycling and doing some other things, and you're like, I don't even like these things, then it becomes a burden. But if it's something you enjoy, or you love to do anyways, then it's not so much. So things like skipping, just jumping where you are, you know, run going up and down. If you have a stairs at home, go up and down your stairs. Try to increase your cardio a little bit, right? So if they're little things, it's just discipline, focus. And like
Mm.
I said, if you think about the greater good of staying healthy, staying strong, you will do this. I never used to put exercise in my routine. And I must tell you, I don't exercise every day. So I'm not going to be here to tell you, oh, I do this. That's my next goal is to try to get there every day. So I just call out 2, 3 days in a week where I know that I have to do it. It's part of my schedule. It's my timetable. And I do that. So if you don't prioritize, like someone said, don't prioritize your schedule, you schedule your priorities.
Wow.
So you need to say, this is what I'm going to do at this time. 20 minutes, just like you're having a date, or you're going to work, or you're going to meet someone, block out 1 hour. I'm going on a walk. It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. So you put it there. So those are the things. Like I said again, don't let life force you to make decisions that you could otherwise have made easily.
Wow. So once again, and I love the fact that Auntie Mimbo keeps throwing out the disclaimer that she's not a doctor. She's just talking based on her experience. So the importance of exercising. And I wanted to read a few comments that I really like based on what you just said. Someone said getting comfortable sneakers or runners helps too. So, if you're serious about this, get something that, because you shouldn't be walking in shoes that would hurt your feet, for example. Also, I like this comment from Hebrew Ways Healthy Hub. And this person says, I love the fact that you said we should differentiate between activities and exercise. Because sometimes people will say, well, I'm on my feet all day. I I'm doing this, I'm doing laundry, I'm doing those are great, at least you're moving, but those are activities. Unless you're doing what they call it, brisokwe or something in Nigeria, if you're carrying cement and you're on a construction site and stuff like that, people like that, they are like really toned and all. So you have to be deliberate about exercising. Don't just assume that the activities that you're doing is an exercise.
Yeah,
Um, and I love the fact that you talked about, some people call it jump rope, some people call it skipping rope.
yeah,
Everybody knows what we're talking about, either jump rope or skipping rope. Just buy one and just do it in your house, or you go for a walk. And you said that we can also go for a walk in a mall. We should just not take our money with us or purse, so that we are not found shopping when we should be walking around. So thank you so much for stressing the importance of exercising. We have Tonia in the studio. Miss Tonia, please turn on your video camera and please ask your question. And then we'll round this up in like 7 minutes. After you're done asking your question, because she is the only one in the studio right now, I will let Mimbo say anything else that she would like to say before we round this up. Miss Tonia, please turn on your video camera and ask your question.
Sorry, Adiola, I'm not really well dressed. I'm trying to pick the dinner for my little girl.
It's
So
okay.
I don't really have any question. But I want to thank Auntie Adiola. She has really inspired me, to eat right and
Auntie
exercise
Bimbo.
more. Oh, sorry, Auntie Bimbo. Auntie Bimbo, thank you so much. And I wish I can get your book, even if buying it. I stay in Italy, but I have a friend in USA suffering from cancer now. She has been in the hospital for the past 2 years. I wish there's something I can tell her. I've learned a lot from all you said today. I wish there's something I can tell her that will help her to fight this deadly disease. Thank you so much, and I thank God for your life. God continue to bless and keep you for your family. You both are
Amen.
beautiful women. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you
thank
so much,
you.
Tonia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
so people that are not in Canada or the US, how can they get your book? I guess that would be her
So,
question. Someone in Italy
yeah,
first.
yeah. So they can get that on couponsup.ca. That they couponsup.ca would ship to anywhere. I'm not just sure if they can get to Nigeria. I'm currently
I think she's
working
in
on getting
Italy.
that. Yeah. So if she orders on couponsup.ca, they would ship to Italy. Yeah, they would ship
Okay.
to Italy. It's just the Nigerian thing I'm not sure of yet, but I'm working on getting an outlet in Nigeria for that. So for your friend, Tonia, one of the things that I quickly realized is that whether it's a health situation, a disease, a motor accident, or a natural cause, at some point in time, we will expire, guaranteed. There is nobody that is here forever. And the funny thing is, there are people who don't even have any disease, no sickness, nothing. They just sleep and they don't wake up again. No illness, nothing. So that tells you about life. So for your friend, that she wakes up every day, she is blessed. She's better than a lot of people. And so once we come to that realization that I'm on a journey and this journey is finite, at some point you'd have to take a bow. It helps you to set things in perspective. During my journey, I happened to experience some situations of people that were not ill. Some people were ill. Some people had, nothing. Some people had so many things, and they died. And that tells you something. And that's why all of a sudden I quickly realized that I need to cherish every moment that I have. And let's face it, I mean, if God even says you're going to spend 100, 120, let's pull it a fast stretch, 120, and you're already 40, you're 50, you're 60, how many percentage of your life is left? Think about it as a battery on your phone that's going down. So all of a sudden, you have to start to enjoy life. So what I would tell you to tell your friend is that, again, for me, a heart of gratitude, she should be thankful that she's still here. A lot of people are not here. And so because she's here, there is hope. There is hope. And because she's here, it doesn't mean that other people that are seemingly not in the hospital, that they don't have a lower battery than she does. Because you don't know, I don't know how long God has given everybody. It's all a unique case. So when you think about that, she should enjoy life. She should be grateful. She should take her medication. And I would also say she should get involved. Oftentimes, when people are sick, they're very scared, they're very confused, and they don't get involved in their treatments. They just stand there and it's like, give me whatever you want to give me and let me go. She should ask questions. She should get involved. And one of the things I also did was I started looking at myself and looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. I started celebrating what I was, like what I was going to do when I finish all this. And so she should attach something to that hope. Maybe if it's a milestone that, when I finish this treatment, I'm going to go on a trip or whatever. That is a step of faith. That is a step of faith. So she should attach something to that hope that she's aspiring to do. She should have those aspirations. And she should know that we're all on a journey, every single one of us. Whether you've been ill or you are not ill, we're all on a journey. And fortunately, unfortunately, this journey has a place of termination, unfortunately. And so once we settle that, then it puts on us the mindset of gratitude and to enjoy and embrace life. That's what I'll tell you. Because if you're not in a good perspective of mind, if you're not in a good place, the treatment won't even work. I leverage comedy and I wrote about it in my book. I would laugh, I would dance, I would do anything that would just help me take my mind off that pain. I leverage comedy. There's a woman on YouTube. I also referenced her in my book, Saran. She has this website called Comedy Cures. She was diagnosed for stage 4 breast cancer. Her friends were coming to her and they were giving her flowers and saying, well, let's just go say our final goodbyes because from statistics, very few people survive at that stage. But two of her friends said, no, we're not going to track her death. We're going to celebrate her life. And so they started going out, they go for spas, they go for so many things. And she was doing all those things, even though she was frail and tired and weak. But she just said, you know what, whatever strength I have left in me, I'm just going to enjoy life. And that woman really encouraged me. Tonia, would you believe that this woman came back from stage 4 cancer and she's still alive today? She has a website called Comedy Cures, and she goes around to help people in that situation by just making them laugh.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. That was that was we all need that actually, not just, someone going through. I think whether you're going through a diagnosis or not, we have to treat life like that and live a purposeful day every day. So I'm going to read a comment. Hold on one second. And this comment is from Wumi Akins. Hello, Adiola. Please, I just joined from Canada. I wanted to ask if the Eba rice pounded yam also have something to do with her weight gain. Also, how can we get the book in Canada? Is it on Amazon?
Um, Again, I'm not a dietitian. Um, all the carbohydrate, and you also have to know that people's body type also store carbohydrates in different ways. Some people can eat carbohydrate as high as
A month.
Mount Everest, and they come out and it looks like they've not even eaten anything. They're so slim and all that stuff. So I don't know what your body type is, and this is where you have to, unto thyself be true. You have to know yourself, right? You have to know what you can tolerate, and we have to start to make conscious efforts, a disciplined life, so that we will not be forced to do things that we're supposed to have done. I keep saying that because I saw during my journey when certain procedures have to be done and they ask you to eat this or don't do this or drink 3 liters of water or 1 liter. I'm just saying, and you have to. If you don't, they will not touch you because it's part of the prerequisite. And you won't say because you don't like water is tasteless. They say I have to have a big tummy or my tummy has to be full before they can do that scan or my whatever. And I'm drinking this water. Sometimes you even want to go to the washroom or toilet as it's called in Nigeria. But you can't because if you emptied your bowels, you're back to square one. No one will touch you because they need that tummy to be full to be able to do those tests. And you need to go to the washroom. So what do? You start jumping and dancing where you are until they get you in to do the test and you get out and you rush to the washroom. So and that tells me that we all have discipline in us, but what we're just lacking is we don't want to exercise it. But when push comes to shove, you would realize that you have discipline. You will do it. Except you don't want to leave. You will do it. There's certain things they ask me to drink at some times and it tastes like chalk. It's horrible. I don't like it. But they say, oh well, you drink it, you drink water, you go for the test. If you're not drinking it, we're not touching you. What do you do? So that's why I keep saying, don't let I know a lot of us are talking about carbohydrates. We're talking about the eba, the amala, the all the rice and everything. It's great, don't get me wrong. And I think the problem here is lifestyle. If it's something you eat day in, day out, you're not exercising, it's a disaster waiting to happen. But if you have it once in a while, once in a while, and that again is, subjective, but let's say you have it once in a while, then at least it's not a lifestyle. But again, do you want life to force you? If you get to a point where they say, okay, the only thing you can eat for the rest of your life is beans, anything else you can't touch it. You won't even be talking about pounded yam and all that. You start to think of how to make beans more attractive. So you make it as maybe as moi moi, you make it as akra. You start being funky with beans because you can't get out of that boundary. You start having inspirations of cook of beans, of making beans delicacy, right? And that is when life is made someone to forces someone to make a decision. So all these things, I'm not telling you that it's easy. I'm not telling you it's, oh, you're just going to be fine, just make sure you're eating this and doing exercises. No. There are days I don't feel like walking, there are days I don't feel like doing anything, and I just go up and down just in the stairs in my home. So it's, as you consistently do this, you find out that your body would start to adjust. But again, you don't want to be in a position where you are being forced to do things, because by that time it's too late. It's too late.
So, I believe Miss Tonia that she was able to answer your question, so I can let you go out of the studio. Miss Tonia, thank you so much for that question that you had asked. Also, the question by Wumi Atkins, I just wanted to add to it that I do believe that carbohydrates in some people it adds to gain weight. In some people, just to answer your question, eat more vegetables, more fruits. Even your skin will thank you. Also, they were asking how to get a book in Canada. So I think I'll let you see one more time how the people can get the book in Canada. And then I'm posting the remaining winners of her book, the last 5 winners of her book. I'm posting them on the screen as well.
Yeah.
So how to
So,
get the book in
so,
Canada?
so in Canada, you can buy it on Indigo, Chapters Indigo. So if you go to indigo.ca, you can order it there. And you can also get it on couponsorb.ca. Now, on couponsorb.ca, if you're ordering from there, and as a thank you to Adiola's fans, I'm giving out 15%, and the promo code is Adiola15. But that is only available on Coupons Orb. It's not available on Indigo. Indigo is the full price, but on Coupons Orb, you will, with Adiola 15 as the promo code, you can get it there, and it would be shipped to you anywhere in Canada.
Awesome, awesome. So the remaining winners of her book are, drum rolls, please. Alice Akinubi, Esther Oluyide, Comfort Ayeni, Hadiza Abdul Karim, Soni Aibonohan. If you heard your name, please, you need to write her. I'll put up the email to write her. She needs to know how to get the book to you. So please and please send an email to this email that I'm putting on the screen. It is rescuedbookorder@gmail.com. So winners should write, sorry, winners should email her. And the title of your email should please uh, be rescued book draw winner. Please and please, if you are a winner, let the title of your email be rescued book winner. Rescued book draw winner. Rescued book draw winner. And I'll still announce this on the show as well. If you are one of the 10 people that we have named today, please send her an email rescued book order at gmail. Oh, excuse me, .com. Why do I feel sleepy? I need to go and exercise more. I need to go for a run or work. No, but this has been eye-opening, and I really want to thank you for not just writing this book, because it's blessing a lot of people, but for being an avenue of encouragement, first of all, to people that are going through,
Thank you.
everybody really, not just people that are going through, and for enlightening us about the power of what we eat, as well as the power of exercising. Thank you so much, so much. For some people that may be watching and be wondering, uh, why should I exercise? What are the benefits of exercising? Real quick, I'm just going to say that it improves our memory, our brain function. It protects us against all kinds of diseases. It helps us in managing our weight. It lowers our blood pressure. It improves our quality of sleep. When you have exercise and you are really tired, you will sleep deeply. It helps us with anxiety. It helps us to reduce anxiety and even depression. If you are depressed, start exercising. You can never tell. And of course, it helps with cancer-related fatigue. Mommy, you were even exercising while you were going through chemo. I saw a picture of you on a tricycle. You were biking while going through chemo. You were taking walks while going through chemo, so that's really inspiring. It helps us to maintain muscle strength, and it helps us with our joints and being stiff. A lot of people, they will say, oh, the older you get, you start having muscle ache, you start feeling stiff. So it helps us with that. It also helps in increasing lifespan, because you feel young. So these are just some of the benefits of exercising. That's why she was hammering in on exercising. So, mommy, do you want to say one more thing before I wrap up the show? A very small thing.
No, I just want to thank you again, Adiola, for helping to elevate this story. Really appreciate it. And I'm thankful to God. I just want you guys to know that um, there is nothing that I have done or didn't do. I don't have a 3-step formula, 6-step formula, or the power food or the miracle, diet that would help or anything. I have just simply been a recipient of grace. And God, the same God that came through for me, He's not a respecter of persons. And what He does for one, He does for another. And the other thing I want you to know is that you need to come to Him for Him to be able to do this for you, because He's a lover. He's not a taskmaster. And so if you just commit to Him, He knows every detail of your life, including it's interesting that the Bible says that He knows the number of hairs on your head, on your body. So it's not just like He knows that there are 1,000 or how many strands. He knows the strands by the number. That's how detailed He knows you. And He wants to love you. He wants to heal you. He wants to rescue you, whether it be a health condition or emotional situation or mental situation. He will. And like Diola said in the preview before today, it doesn't mean that even after doing all those things that there might be some undesirable outcomes. But even with that, He still loves us, and I'm so thankful. And that's why I mean, I couldn't tell you it's this 7 steps to victory or 3 steps to doing this or one thing. I'm just simply a recipient of grace. And I'm very thankful for that. And you can also be a recipient of the same thing. For the one that has rescued me can rescue you too. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much for saying that. Before I let you go, real quick, people are asking that if they don't live in Canada, how do they get the book? And if they look behind you, actually, coupons hub,
Yeah.
coupon, yeah, coupons hub.ca. They can ship to other
Yeah,
to the
if
US.
they if they yeah, couponhub.ca can ship anywhere. The only thing is, like I said, I'm not sure if we're doing Nigeria yet. If they're doing Nigeria yet, but I can certainly look into that. just because of the way the shipping is. But anywhere in North America and Europe, coupons up will ship to that place.
All right, so please keep that in mind. And she said it earlier that if you use a promo code, the promo code Adiola 15,
Yes.
you get 15% off. You get a discount of 15%. Adiola 15 because you're getting 15% discount. So if you're interested in reading her book, Rescued, A Mama of Faith and Faith, you can go on couponshub.ca, just Google that and then put in her book. Actually, I think your book is on their homepage because every time I go there, I see it on their homepage. So, and the book is the one behind her, so you know what we're talking about. The book is what you are seeing all around her. So if you go on there and you type in the title of the book, Rescued, and her name is Abimbola Ifidon. So rescued by Abimbola Ifidon. If you type that in, it should come up. You should be able to order it if you live in the US, if you live in Canada, anywhere in North America, and they should deliver to you. So thank you so much once again to everybody that joined us today. We really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Auntie Bimba, for encouraging and enlightening us today. It was wonderful that you were able to join us today. And we're so grateful for your life. We thank God for your life. We'll
Thank you.
celebrate you, we'll celebrate 70, we'll celebrate 80.
Amen. Amen.
We'll
Thank you
continue
so
to be a
much.
blessing. Thank you so much. And you look good, by the way. People are saying it in the comment section after that. You look beautiful. So,
Thank
uh,
you. Thank you so much.
all right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful for your time. This video will be on YouTube so that you can watch it again and so that you can hopefully send it to people that you think it would be a blessing to. So it will be on our YouTube channel. It will also be on our Facebook channel. So until next time, I'll see everybody again. Have a good
Just
one.
yeah, okay.
No, 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 go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say as well for people who have questions like, why did you write the book and other health things that the people are talking about, you can also visit the website. It's www.therescuestory.ca. So all the questions and everything that we probably didn't touch on today, why did you write the book? What is this? Everything is on that website as well. So you can go there and also check. And you can also put orders there too. Thank you.
So the rescued story.
Therescuestory.ca. Yeah.
So is it the rescue with B or just like the rescued or the rescue?
V yeah, therescuestory.ca.
Okay, so there is no D. So for more information, I'm just putting this on the screen real quick before we sign out. It is for more information about her, about this book, please and please go to www.therescuestory.ca. There's no D, it's just the rescue, not the rescued. So
Yeah.
therescuestory.ca. Please and please
Yeah.
visit there for more
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
The last disclaimer, she's not a doctor, she's not a dietitian. She has shared from her experience. Hopefully, it has been a blessing to some people. Please write down this website if you want more information about the book. But everything we said is like a drop in a bucket. Just get the book. You will
Yeah.
get more information if you get the book. She went over so many things in the book, so it will be a blessing for you. If you someone is asking, do you mind telling your age? She is 50 years old.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm 50. I'm 5 decades. Yeah. Well, probably nicely put, I'm 22 years with 28 years experience.
Okay, okay, she's 22. So yes, my mother is 50 years old. She just celebrated her 50th birthday. All right. Thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us. I'll see you guys another time. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.